April 6th, Sunday, dreary day in the morning here. Walked out the door. I was, just thinking about notions and being able to follow notions that you can't perceive with your eyes, and how your perception is messed up. Especially like if you can see somebody. Blackbird with a blue head. Like if you can see somebody but you're not actually hearing what they're saying, there's a huge difference than if you're actually listening to them. How perceptions can get skewed. And I get like that sometimes. I'll see something, I'll see something without listening, and then I'll circle back to it and then listen. And I realized that all my notions without listening to the words were completely different. And for whatever reason, the words themselves are like designed to sometimes they're designed to destroy. Maybe it's a faith or a belief, or to make you forget, you felt these notions. And I mean, it gets dicey when you're talking about like feelings and whatnot, when you're laying in bed at night and you're going over things in your head, or you're like half asleep and you hear a voice call out from the darkness, you know what I mean? Like those kind of things, the words only get in the way. But for me personally, they don't really fit anyways, because they're not under the purview of common sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make common sense to like start chasing just a notion from the dark. You know what I mean? You gotta have some kind of, there's gotta be some kind of verbal indication. There's gotta be some kind of, not documentation, but there's gotta be some token at least. There's gotta be something concrete there. And I mean, for one who takes validation directly from nature and from very few other sources, it leaves me in a tough spot sometimes. Especially in relations or perceived relations, or no relations at all with other people. There's definitely unspoken things going on between people all the time. Unspoken negotiations, unspoken battles, unspoken contracts. The societal contract might be one that's very often unspoken, even though, we have a set guideline with our laws and rules and whatnot. But apparently those can change, and apparently to many, those don't mean shit anyways. You know what I mean? So it's hard to gauge, it's hard to judge what's real and what's not. You throw somebody who's, what would be the word, inconsistent into the mix, or you have people who are inconsistent from the day to day, and you really wind up not being able to trust the notions at all. I was always in that camp. You know what I mean? These things, they don't matter if people are not consistent. They don't matter at scale, and they don't matter interpersonally. They feel like they should. They feel like they should mean more than they do, but they really can't. There's a lot of trickery out in the world. There's a lot of trickery in nature itself, and by out in the world, it's like we got society, and the sea. metaphorically. It's you know, it's a trick within a trick, and to be able to navigate between the two, it's a difficult thing, and it leaves you, you know, it's easy to fall off and get bitter. It's also easy to fall off into disbelief. I'm sure there's other ways to fall off too, but I mean, disbelief has usually been my go-to. You know, these notions are kind of like a mental, maybe one could say they're like a mental emotion, but it's more than that, because sometimes like specifics do come through, you know, call it intuition, foresight, you know, there's been names for it throughout the, you know, divine guidance. There's been names for it throughout, you know, history. People have written about it extensively. I don't know what Jung says about it, because Jung seems to be like a lens or a cipher that people can, the scientific people can more easily comprehend, even though Jung himself is considered pseudoscience. And honestly, gladly, like the practice of psychiatry and its history, especially like surrounding World War II, is coming to question. More people are questioning. I think that's a good thing. Although not everybody's an enemy, and certainly not everybody's a friend. But like, when you mention a forever pill, and that your doctor can't give you a time frame that you're going to get better, or at least some kind of notion itself that you might get better one day, rather than just, here, take this forever pill and I'll see you next week. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's my point on it, and I'll throw that up there, and we'll keep pumping out the videos and take it one day at a time, because that's all we can do. That's all, you know. It's good to have a plan, but best laid plans of mice and men. I hope this was clear and coherent. I hope those runners are having a good time down there, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.